Alright gang, welcome back to our Farm Maze Challenge. Today's the first day I'm attempting to do a video since I got back from Vegas and have been sick, as you know. Don't sound perfect, and I'm not perfect by any means. I still don't feel that great, but we're going to give it a shot, gang. So if you'll bear with me in case I don't sound perfect the entire time, or if I have to randomly cough or anything like that, if you'll bear with me, I'd appreciate it. So we're going to pick up these planks along here. I don't know what's going on with the shed. It says resources needed or item needed, planks long, but then it says 0 liters. So I don't know. I'm going to put this in here and just see what happens, I guess. Might be a waste of our money, but if it lets us get to the next stage, then I guess it's worth it, right? I don't know. There it goes. 999 liters are still in there, but it did remove 1 liter, so I guess it needed 1 liter. I don't know. Anyway, it's in there now. We've got a lot of things to do today. Most importantly, we've got 2 harvests to do. We also have to do a second application of fertilizer. And we'll take a look at the prices for selling, too. It is November. Normally it's, you know, December. But in this game, as you've noticed, they did change up the selling times for some items, so it's not always best to sell in December, January anymore for everything. Some things, but not everything. I'm just gonna leave that there for right now. Let's jump into the harvester here. What do we got here? What do we got? It's been a couple of days, obviously, as you can factor in, since I've done an episode here, so I don't recall what we had in some of these fields. But we'll get there. We'll get there one way or another. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing better than I'm doing. This is the first true day that I've at least felt mediocre at best, I guess. Yesterday was a little bit better than the previous days, but I still didn't feel up to the challenge of doing a video like this with all of you. And I'm going to be honest with you, today and probably the next couple of episodes, they may not even be as talkative as you're used to me being. That's just mostly because of, you know, my voice, more than anything. If it starts hurting, I'm going to have to stop talking. So ended up getting the flu as well, so it's just been a mess. It's been a mess of a week here. Yeah, but hopefully you're all doing much better than me. Little brief conversation about the trip. So those of you that have been around for a while know, or if you're just new and you're just randomly stumbling across this, I did go out to Vegas and play in a big poker tournament for me, the biggest I've ever played in. I play in a poker league around here. I played in a poker tournament out in Vegas. It was in Old Vegas. 1,160 people, I think, something like that. I did make it. My only goal was to make it to day 2. I did make it to day 2. I got out right before the break on day 2. There was around 150 people left when I went out, so I made it around or damn near 1,000 people. I made it through 1,000 people, so I was pretty impressed with that for myself, for not being in such a big tournament. They paid 110 people, so I literally just missed making the money. Basically 110 got your money back for the tournament, and it was an unfortunate way to go. I played perfectly all the way up to it. Chip leader at our table, unfortunately I got into it with her, and she couldn't lose no matter what she did. She'd call with any cards, and she was winning. So I had King 10 suited, and it was the best cards I saw at that table, because I got moved to that table for probably 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. So I called the blind, which at this point they were pretty expensive. I don't remember the exact amount they were, but they were expensive. I was running out of blinds, so I called the blind. because there was only a few people behind me, including her. I kind of assumed that she was going to raise it, but you never know. Sometimes she hadn't. She did raise it, but it was a min raise, so I called the min raise. Flop comes king. I don't know, junk. It was like 2-8 or something. I don't know what it was. Rainbow, not anything, you know, nothing scary, anything like that. Nothing that helps me with my suited king 10. Nothing like that. So I push all in because I got a king. She tanks for probably 10 minutes. I'm being as realistic as I can. It might have been longer than that, but it was 10 minutes. It felt like an eternity. Surprised that I or nobody else called clock on her, but whatever. Finally decides that she's going to call me. She has nothing. She calls with ace high. So I was feeling okay about it, right? I've got a king. I was feeling okay. The only way that she's going to beat me at this point is if an ace pops out. That's not exactly how it went down. So the turn comes out a queen. She's got ace queen, so now she's got a queen. So now she's got more outs, right? So now she can hit another queen or an ace, and she still beats me. Guess what the river was? Another queen. Runner, queen. I was very disappointed. I played that tournament as well as I possibly could have played that tournament. I felt really confident, really good, even though I had low chip count, that I was going to make the money. I had to do something, though. I had to make a move because, like I said, I was running out of big blinds, so I had to make a move. And, yeah. It's unfortunate. So how'd I get all this sickness and everything? Well, it's a great question. I don't really know the answer to you. It's something, and it was either happened before we got to Vegas, and it just, we didn't see symptoms until we got there, or it was in Vegas. What I can tell you is that I didn't have any symptoms until pretty much the day we were leaving. Well, maybe the night before, but they were very minor, like nothing major. My wife had the symptoms, I don't know, halfway through, something like that, a little bit more than that. So you would think just by hearing that and talking through that I probably got it from her, which makes a lot of sense. That's probably where I did get it from. But as far as where she got it from, we don't know. We don't know if it was from here and from our nieces or whatever it was, or if it's from something in Vegas. We don't know. All I do know is that when we were there, my wife has a bit of a blood pressure problem, so when we were there, her heart rate spiked to like 160 something, which is a little scary for somebody who doesn't have good blood pressure because it runs in her family. So we went to the hospital and didn't seem too concerned about it, but seemed like it was some kind of a RSV or flu type thing. And so we went with that fashion, that it was that, and then came home and it just wasn't getting any better. So went and actually. She went to her doctor and tested her and everything, and it ended up being flu A. So I went and then got tested, and I also had flu A. So I don't know if I had RSV or just flu A or both or what, or if it was, I have no idea. Anyway, all I know is that's what we got right now. So that's what we're dealing with. We're trying to get over. So that's the way I sound. The reason I sound the way I do. And mainly the reason why I was trying to hold off for a couple of days, hoping I'd feel a little better, sound a little better, but I certainly don't think I sound any better. Even though I may feel a tiny bit better. Alright, this field's all harvested up. We can go ahead and drop this into the silo. And then we'll head down and harvest the other field. It's over there by our greenhouse area. I think we'll have to switch the header out. I'm pretty sure it's corn down there. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's corn. let's see, is it corn? Yeah, it's corn. So it's this 29 field, the smaller one down here. That one's ready to go. So we'll take care of that today as well. I would have thought the sawmill would have been able to accept this big massive tree, but maybe it still can. I mean, it is a big ass tree though. 13.1 meters, 2.7 tons of tree there. That's a lot of tree. Still has plenty of wood in there, so I guess I'm not that concerned about it, but I would have thought I would have been able to accept it. So while that's happening, let's come back over here and look at the shed here. Is it doing anything else different, or are we just going to have to wait till the next day? It's probably going to be a situation where we have to wait till the next day again. I probably should have just moved the planks along. Oh, actually, I don't think we could have. I don't know, it's been a number of days, so I forget, but I don't know if we actually could have moved the planks along over there. I don't know if we had planks along ready at the last episode. Alright, so let's unhook this thing. Perfect. Good deal. Alright. Let's head down there, and we'll get that going. Alright, we are done with the field here, gang. Decent harvest out of it, at least more than, well, not more than. Well, it is more than. I don't know what I was trying to say here. More than one harvester load, I guess is what I was trying to get at. Didn't really say that properly, but hopefully you get what I meant. In any case, we'll head back up to the yard. Oh, man. On a lot of medicine here. We'll head back up to the yard and we'll unload this into the silo. Then we'll take a look at the prices again. Like I said, we'll see what's best. Probably not selling them in anything today, more than likely. Could be wrong, but probably not. and then we'll go from there. We're going to have to get the weeder out. I don't know if you noticed on the field that we need to put a second application of fertilizer down on. It does have some weeds there, so we're going to take care of that. So we'll do that. Then we'll put down the second application of fertilizer. Then we'll see where we are as far as the time goes and what's up next on the agenda. There you go. You can see them pretty clear as day there. It's not much. There's just a patch there in the middle and some rough edges here that need to be touched up for whatever reason. All right, the first load from the Dragon here is already into the silo. We'll take the rest of this and put it in there. There was already some corn in there, so there's quite a bit of corn. So we'll take a look, like I said, at the prices and make our decision at that point on what we're going to be doing here. If we do anything with it or not, if we sell anything or if we continue to store it. Okay. Gives us 20,552 liters of corn. It's a lot of corn, gang. It's a lot of corn. So, let's see. Corn. It is not good to sell right now, which we kind of expected, right? What about everything else we got in here? We got sorghum. Sorghum's getting there. It's not actually terrible at all. The train station is pretty damn close to what it would be at the best price. Soybeans, we knew those weren't going to be good. Did we have something else? Yes, sunflowers. Yeah, sunflowers, no, as well. Well, sunflowers aren't terrible either, but none of these are really the best price, so it's not really something we really want to spend time selling right now, in my opinion. I just don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to sell it for significantly less than what we might be able to make. So we'll just hold off on selling those. And I mean, if we have to, right? If we're desperate or something, we've got them in there, right? So we can sell them if we're desperate for whatever reason. Something comes up on the used market that we have to have, or a field that we see all of a sudden that maybe we missed before, or that we wanted is available with a good crop in it, ready to harvest or something like that. Then, you know, we've got it there. We can sell it if we have to. But really, we're wanting to save that for as long as possible and try to make as much money as we possibly can out of it. Now we're getting, I would say, well, maybe it's not as close, but I would say we're getting relatively close here to a point where this series may be coming to an end in the next 5 to 10 episodes. I would think probably. You know, our main goal here, right, was to kind of build them farm maze up, and we still have some ways to go on doing that. We haven't done the hay bale maze yet either, right? But the shed is I can't imagine there's anything else left in the shed besides just waiting until the next day. I don't know what it could be, because it looks like it's a complete shed to me. But perhaps there is something still we have to do in there. I don't know. But any case, so when the shed's done, that was one of our biggest objectives, right, is to get the shed going. When that's done, we can get rid of this guy. We can try to, you know, put some stuff in there if we can make it work. We got to put a new house up, but that's not a big problem. So really, it's just, you know, getting the hay bale maze going, and then you have to do the fence around the outline, and then maybe a few more things in the middle, like I talked about, right? Well, obviously, we want to put a tractor in there, but we could utilize our green tractor now if we wanted to when we're done. Just depends what we end up going with. Speaking of used market, is there anything in here? There's a subsoiler, and then there's just a tipper trailer for grapes, and nothing really for us, unfortunately. Well, that's okay. So let's jump back in here. I did not want to turn that on. Dummy Z. Let's jump back in here to our Doltzfar AgroStar. And we'll get the weeder out. We're going to go weed the one field down there, and then we're going to fertilize that field for the second application. And while we're down there, we'll probably take a look at the greenhouse, see if it needs any more water or not. I would suspect it probably doesn't need any water yet, but soon enough it probably will. Easy, Z. Climbing stuff. Easy, buddy. Easy. Now, there are 2 new maps in the time period that I've been down and out with this illness that have come out. One is the state up north. As you know, I'm from Ohio, so we don't like to say the name of the state up north. Michigan. We'll remove the M, and it looks like it's a decent map. I may do something on that, depending on, you know, how things go. There could be some other maps that come out though as well. Camden Farm, whatever that's called. I don't think I ever really ran a series on it. I know a lot of people have, and I know a lot of people love that map. I might look into that map as well. Those are the 2 new maps that came out, so we have a few new maps to kind of take a peek around and look at. Ooh, okay, what are we getting? How are we dragging that? I don't know how I even pulled that. It must have been a visible twig hanging up in the air or something. Can I pick this up by hand? Of course I can. Of course I can. Right. This can be driven over still, right? Yes, it can. Okay, good. So I've got some ideas for some new challenges to run. I also, in the interim of the time of being sick here, I started a time-lapse series, which I started it like a couple of days before these new maps came out, so in hindsight I would have loved to just waited to do that series, but I just had an itch to play Farming Simulator, and I really couldn't talk very well, so I just was like, alright, well, I'm just going to do a time-lapse series, because I had talked about a long time ago, you know, incorporating a time-lapse series from time to time. I know there are a couple of people that do enjoy time-lapse series, so I just figured, well, you know, I'll run one, and you know, I'll just get a couple episodes done right now, put them out there, because I can't do anything else right now anyway. But in hindsight, if I had known that there were maps coming out for sure this week, I would have just held off. But oh well, what are you gonna do? So that series specifically, it won't be out often. It's just going to be kind of a bonus series, if you will. And what I mean by bonus is whenever I have the time or the availability. And I've got, you know, other videos loaded up, ready to go for you then in the week. You know, I've got 3 or 4 of them ready, whatever it is. I may throw that in there from time to time, right? Just as a bonus. So it'd be a secondary video on the day. And then always, if there's a situation where, you know, if I have a couple of them done, and I'm sick or I'm having issues with an edit or an upload or something, I can always, you know, put that in its place, whatever, right? I think it just makes a lot of sense to have that as a fallback in case something happens that's out of my control, like a sickness, right? Alright, so let's put this back away here. That should be enough fertilizer. I don't think I need to get any more. Alright, so, let's see. The only other things left to do is re-drill those fields, which I'm not sure if we're going to do in this episode or not. This episode may be a little bit shorter than what you're typically used to, and that's just to, I guess, save me a little bit more than anything right now. Normally, you know, I would run this back and start drilling these fields as well, but I think we might hold off on drilling the fields. I don't think, well, this one might be. I was going to say, I don't think anything's going to be ready to harvest in the next episode, but this one might be, but that's okay. It's a small field. We can still do that harvest plus re-drill the fields here. That's not a big deal in my opinion. There is a new small fertilizer spreader that did come out on Mod Hub, and it does allow us to have access to put lime into it. So that is huge. I mean, that's massive for us. I don't know if we're going to actually incorporate that on this series specifically, but some of the other series, that'll be very useful and helpful to have. Alright, that is good for me. Let's take a look here at the greenhouse, see how we're doing. Plenty of water. We're golden there. Does not need any water. Now, a couple other things we need to do is get rid of some more of these trees, right? We've got all these trees. We've got twigs everywhere. We've got massive, massive branches up there at the yard. We need to figure out something to do with those, and realistically what we should be probably doing is, you know, putting a bigger sawmill down, but it's a lot of money. We don't have the money to pay for it right now. If we sold some of the crop, we would, but, you know, we're not doing that, as we mentioned earlier, right? So, we could sell the logs outright, right? We could just go sell them outright. But that doesn't also seem like the smartest play for us. I mean, I feel like that would be just a waste of money and the waste of the effort that we did. Because you'll get an okay amount, but you're going to get a lot more if you do what we have over there, right? We've got pallets and beams and everything else. Speaking of that, I did not look up the prices of those. I don't recall when the best prices for those are, so we should look that up. So let's do that. Because I think we have 4 pallets and then 1 beam, I think. Yeah. 4 planks, excuse me, not pallets. Well, they are pallets of planks, but you get what I mean. And 1 beam. The beam is the big money maker. Let's see here. Oh, excuse me, gang. I had to take a drink there for a second. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Playground is actually pretty good, but it's so far away, man. It is so far away. Okay, wood beam. Here we go. Wood beam, 10,000 at the playground. Again, not terrible. 8758 at Farmer's Market. The thing is, I don't think this is going to take anything else, but at the same time, I don't know. Anyway, so there are some new things that came out. I'm just going to show them really quickly here. So we've got some Hobo Farmhouse Pack, which is great. I love using the Hobo Farmhouse Pack to have areas to sleep and stuff. I don't really need this anymore. This came out too, so I might get rid of that because we've got this one. There's really no point. Plus, why wouldn't I just put down a tent or this little house if I'm gonna? I would not. I don't need a bench. So I'll probably get rid of that. And there was, I swear there was one other thing. I don't remember what it was now. But anyway, I want to see if I can put some more stuff down here. Because like I said, we're edging a lot closer here to, I think, finishing this series. Slowly but surely. This field is also at a point where we could purchase it. And I've talked about that so many times, right? That I want to buy this field when it's at a point where we could purchase it. But to do that, we would literally have to sell more than just that field that we just harvested there. We'd have to sell more than that to get that field. I would love this field because it's so close to where we are. they keep putting in like green beans or something here, and we don't have the ability, and we're not going to have the ability to harvest that in this series. So, yeah, that's not unfortunately going to work for us. But I guess what we could do, I guess, is if we sell this field now, 45, 65, 75, maybe we would have enough to get it. I guess we would have enough to get it, wouldn't we? I'm gonna do it. We're gonna sell it. Alright, well, we are now the proud owner of that field next to us. I've been talking about how I wanted that field for quite a long time, and it is now ours. So that is fantastic. So, with that said, gang, we are going to leave the episode there. We've got an approach here. We've got another field next to us now, which is what I wanted. I want our fields to kind of be, most of our fields at least, to be similar and in this area. So it seems more like a working farm that happens to take a field out for a farm maze and make money on that from tourists and locals or whatever, right? So we've got a new field, gang. It was a productive day. We've got to re-drill this field here in the next episode. We'll have that field down there probably to harvest, and then we're going to be drilling our new field in the next episode as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Apologize once again for the sound of my voice and for the delay in getting videos going here, but we're going to try to get back into the groove here. Bear with me for the first few episodes on multiple series here. They're probably going to be a little bit shorter than what you're used to, just to help save my voice a little bit and my energy, I guess. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks so much for my continued support to all of my members, and I'll catch you in the next one.